health coaching is rarely someone's first career choice, but in my opinion, it is the best career choice. And we have an amazing guest today, from a dancer from Cuba to a teacher in Beijing, China, and now a health coach in Portugal. She's certainly tried her hand at many careers, and we are going to have an amazing conversation of how did she go from dancer to health coach and that circuitous route in between and what that is like. So welcome, Jeremy Day.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited to hear from you. I appreciate you. It's very late where you are when we are recording this because we are on another side of the world here. But tell us a little bit about your background. So I kind of gave a little teaser there, but how is it that, what were you doing before you were becoming a health coach? Lay the groundwork of the stepping stones, some of the things along the way.
Yes, so as you mentioned, I am originally from Cuba and I was a professional dancer.
What kind of professional dance did you do? What kind of dance did you do?
All traditional dances from Cuba. So it was really wide and it was really fun. It was a really fun period of my life.
And then what had you go? Why go to China? What led you to China?
Yeah, I had already 8 years of experience in that field when I got a 1 year work contract in Beijing. That contract got extended for another year. And after that time, I felt comfortable in that city. I made many friends and I decided to stay longer. But I wanted to do something different. I was already at a point in my life where I thought it was a good moment to do something else different than dancing. And so I changed career and I became a teacher. I was in China for a total of 9 years.
Hmm.
Two of them was as a dancer and then seven as a teacher.
I remember you saying like you actually really enjoyed that time in China. It was, you made some great friends and connections and that. What happened to cause you to become a health coach?
Yes, as I transitioned from one career to the other, I found myself gaining weight, feeling lost. I tried everything, popular diets, running regularly, which I hated, and forcing myself to eat more veggies, even though I didn't enjoy them. I didn't have that culture. I didn't grow up in a family where veggies were admired. Yeah, eventually I felt tired, frustrated, and insecure. Clothes didn't fit, and I constantly felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I quit every diet I started over and over again.
Yeah. And I can imagine like being a professional dancer, you could probably eat a lot more. And then as you become more sedentary, that doesn't go so
Yeah.
well. So then it's like, okay, I got to readjust that. And then we lose our fitting. Okay. So now we're gaining weight. We don't have the energy. Then what happened?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was still eating the same things that I was eating when I was a dancer. But now being a teacher, I had a different life. I was more sedentary. It was a different rhythm. And as I said, I tried different diets and exercises and copying everybody. But that wasn't working for me. But I was still like, okay, I'm gonna keep trying, but I'm not in a hurry. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
keep trial and error. Then in the fall of 2018, everything changed. I went on a trip to Italy with my boyfriend and friends, and it was like a wake up call. The clothes I packed, they felt really tight, and they were my favorite clothes. I was self conscious the entire time. I barely could move. I felt embarrassed standing next to fit, beautiful women. And I didn't even want to leave my boyfriend unattended because I was so insecure. Really, it was not fun in that moment, and we also saw old friends, and they noticed how much I changed. Um, so that made me feel worse. I knew I couldn't keep living like this, hiding, feeling ashamed, and letting my insecurities dictate my life. So
Hmm.
after my trip, I went back to Beijing and I tried something else. This time I followed what a friend was doing. She was on a medication that was making her lose weight, and she was very happy about it and recommended it. And she was telling everybody about it. So I said, okay, maybe that's my solution. And I bought it. And that was a bad decision. It messed up my hormones, and I ended up having menopause symptoms at 33. When I went to the doctor, she put me on a medication that was addressing the symptoms, but it actually was making the root cause worse. That's when I decided to take serious action. I dug deep into research and realized I wasn't the problem. There was nothing wrong with me. I just needed to make sustainable changes. Yeah, the breakthrough came when I joined a health coaching program and connected with women facing some of the struggles I was facing. I finally felt understood. I felt their support. I had accountability, which I think it's key for any changes we want in our life. And that was the beginning of my healing journey. I got certified as a holistic integrative nutrition health coach. And later, I got certified as a menopause coach. And I got all the tools and education I was missing. Today, I'm very proud to say I found balance. I know what to eat, when to eat, and how to enjoy food without guilt. I've developed a healthy relationship with food and my body, and I've learned to listen to what it truly needs.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us can relate to times when, man, you don't want to be that person and you want to be confident and you want to be, secure in yourself and strong and healthy and vibrant and attractive. In my experience, it's times of transition that result in that. Things that were working before are no longer working. And the only constant is change. Like things are always changing. So for each of us, we're going to experience change. And so we have to change the things that we do to kind of keep up with those changes. And so whether it's a move, whether it's a career change from dancing to something more sedentary, and then the eating habits and that is no longer working. Whether it's an age change too, like from teenage years to like adulthood, or whether it's a change from before having children to after having children. But having been the dancer, been the fit, beautiful Cuban dancer, having been that person, you're like, I know that person's still in here, but that's not what anybody's seeing. And you just shrink and it feels really awful. And it's hard to put words to it. And other people say, you look fine. You're fine. You're okay. Or it's like, what do you expect? So I used to get, what do you expect? You've had 4 kids. And I'm like, I didn't want to be good considering all I'd been through. I wanted to be good, period, done. Like I wanted to be good. I wanted to feel good. I remember so we had moved and previously I was the health person. I was the health coach and I was the healthy one in the community. And I was the one people would go to for health advice. And I was at the morning boot camps and I was at all of, I was the one who was clean eating and da 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 da. But for me personally, I have yet to do successfully a move without gaining weight. I'm sure other people can do it. I just have not mastered that yet. I'm without a kitchen. I'm without my usual routine. And it's recoverable, but it's there. So there I was, and I was standing. And now, and this was with my kids were there and it was pickup time and I was with the other moms and this is a new community and they don't know me at all. And these women are fitter and healthier than I am. And like I was trying to like break in as the health coach here. And honestly, I look like the least healthiest person. I am stressed from this move. Things are upside down and sideways. And I wanted to shrink. And I did not want to stand out. I was not going to say I was a health coach because I did not feel confident, whereas a few months before I was. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing how that felt. That was just a stepping stone into the beautiful work that you get to do now. So tell people, who is it that you are passionate about helping now, Jeremy?
It really helped me transform my life. Now I help high achieving women who are navigating menopause in silence by offering tailored strategies to restore their figure, their energy, and their metabolism naturally and sustainable.
And especially for people who are doing moves or transitions, that is something that that experience is really baked into what you offer. So, what do you like best about being a health coach?
So many women are told it's just the way your body is. It's your genetics, or it's just menopause. Live with it. This career is so fulfilling because I get to show them another way. I love tailoring plans to real women with real lives. It's never a one size fits all, and I don't just coach, I witness transformation and growth every single week. That's so soul satisfying.
Yeah, soul satisfying is what I mean, because then it's meaningful, and that's what we want in careers or in our life and what we're doing. We want it to mean something. I was talking to someone the other day, and she's got a really great paying career, but it's like mine was. As a doctor, I was a doctor for 25 years, and as a radiologist, I was paid extremely well, and certainly payment can be one form of compensation and rewarding, but it was soul sucking. It was soul sucking. And so sometimes that is the impetus. And sometimes it's like your case, you had a health challenge. You had to come over it the hard way. And you're like, actually, it's not that hard. This is something, and people should know about it. People should know that there is, a better way. And so what I know is when working with clients, I learned some things when I was a health coach. One thing that I learned that's played a big role is like what I noticed when I was meeting one on one with my clients is like everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. They're walking around out there, anonymous people or friends in your community, and you think everybody's just like you. They're not, and yet they are. But they have a unique story, and so I really that is was the one thing that really stood out for me. And then now years later, helping people mine their story for the golds that helps them carve out a niche is what I do. I'm using it in a different form. So instead of helping people, heal whatever is needing to be healed there from that story, now I'm helping them create careers out of it, taking their passion into purpose. And I'm going to put a link below in the description to my book, Free to Heal. And so it's the 9 steps to a soul satisfying health coaching practice. So if you're thinking like, how do I take my purpose, my story, and create it into a career? I'll put a free copy there. But for you, Jeremy, as you're working with people as a coach, what are some things that you've learned from working with people? Because it's such a great mirror of relationship.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking me that because I love to answer to that. I love learning, and I'm not shy to say I'm always learning from each of my clients. And something I have learned is that even with expertise, nothing compares to hearing lived experiences. I gain a clearer understanding of the emotional layers or weight gain and exhaustion. The shame or confusion around libido, mood swings, and anxiety. Most women are going through this and they don't even talk about it. It's, as I said, they navigate it in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So each client gives me a more honest picture of what menopause really feels like in real life, not just textbooks.
Yeah, I think that one thing that comes up as I hear you talk about helping, I think you mentioned it earlier, like helping real women with real lives. Cause like there's theory and like, we were chatting the other day about you could probably pop into AI like Chat GPT or whatever it is, and just say like, how do I overcome menopause? And it'll give you some stuff. But that's theoretical. And then actually doing it in the real messy things as actual real human beings with crazy schedules and with people that you're with who don't want to eat that or don't have that, or your own inner food intolerances. I think one of the things I remember you sharing, one of your clients was just wowed by about what was, when you talked about detoxing and like,
Yeah.
she had no idea that some of these things were toxic and that like, she was running and working out and exercising and trying not to eat anything, but didn't know that she was secretly sabotaging, herself, along the way. And I think that's the thing. Like when, Einstein said the level of the solution is different than the level of the problem. And one of the challenges for health coaches is once you get up to the level of the solution on whatever the topic is, we're talking to people who are in the level of the problem. Sometimes they can't hear you with what you're saying. And but sometimes from that perspective from the solution, you can just see more clearly. It's like a maze in trees or a cornfield. Like from above, you're like, I see the path. And you can guide people. You can be that guide on the side. You can see people's blind spots or the things that are like, that's not going to work out well. Once you've been through it, you know the trail, you can then, guide others. And I think that's really important that we have to remember that things that we might take for granted, like, doesn't everybody know this XYZ? And the more familiar you are with it, you might think everybody knows it. But if everybody did, people would not be struggling. And then there's those, like you said, there is no one size fits all. And I think that's where, especially the beautiful way that IIN teaches it, IIN health coaches are just phenomenal, like, because they get really excellent training at that. They're used to listening to that person and really customizing the nutrition because one person's food that heals them is making someone else sick, and it's really working closely to navigate out. And I think that's why you get such great results with your clients. How have you grown as a health coach? What other things have you noticed that have improved for you personally as you've taken on this career as a health coach?
Health coaching has definitely helped me grow as a person. That's 100% true. Now I have more empathy. Now, as I hear more testimonials on what women, especially, go through, on how it is for each of them as individuals, how each of us think we are the odd one. Being a health coach allows me to actually hear sometimes the same stories over and over again, coming from different clients. And I'm sure to say to the women out there, you are not odd. You are
Yeah.
not alone. Many of us go through the same issues. So don't be afraid of talking about it with someone who can hear you and support you.
Yeah. 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 It is. We do feel very alone and alone in a crowd. And it's really important. You know that so many women are going through menopause uh, and many women are struggling with that. And now it doesn't need to be that way. You did, and then you didn't, and so that it is possible to get on the other side of that and navigate it, and get your energy and overcome sugar cravings and sleep better and have better relationships and have better careers and everything. Once you heal that root issue, everything improves as a result of that, which is so fantastic. If you had to go back and talk to your former self, because we learn as we go, we definitely do. Any advice that you would, because that's helpful for other people, because you're like, okay, what have you learned? If you had to go back to your former self, anything that you would share as advice to your former self?
Well, I would say the more I work with my clients, the more I improve my ability to manage those daily decisions women face between self care and responsibilities. So I would say to my former self, invest in yourself.
Hmm.
Don't go for that quick fix trying to save money. You will spend much more in the long run. I did. So prioritize your health and your well being. You deserve it.
Yeah, and it's really important um, to care for yourself because you got this one body to live in. This is the vehicle that you have got to go through your entire life. You want to make it last. You want to make it as comfortable as possible, and nobody can do it for you. Nobody can eat for you. Nobody can drink for you. Nobody can think for you. And sometimes we don't know how to care for our vehicle. And by default, we can't just leave it to kind of default because the default out there that everybody's doing is not working so well. And using the analogy of when I said the only constant is change. I mean, if you cleaned a room in 1940, it is spick and span and absolutely pristine clean, and you don't touch it. You just clean it. You go back there now. It's not clean. Now nobody dirtied it. Nothing bad. Nobody tried to change it. Let's say in this hypothetical example, but it changed. But with proper care, feeding, nourishment, love, amazing effects can happen. And then there's the spin-off benefits. And one of the things I love knowing is that when you get to the root cause, as opposed to slapping on the band-aids, when you get to the root cause of someone's health issues, one of the ways you know that you have is there's so many other things that blossom from it. It's beautiful. So when you've been working with people and clients, I love to hear those examples of when you're working with one thing, but it's not just that thing that happened. Other things happen. Do you have an example to share of when you worked on one thing, but like all of these things, these other things blossomed as a result of it?
Actually, yes. I have a client who works at night. And in the morning, on the way home, she was walking to the gym for about 1.5 hours. Then she would walk home. She was eating like very little, thinking that that would make her lose the extra weight.
Mm-hmm.
And before going to her work in the evening, she would stop by the gym again. Because of the night shift, she wasn't sleeping enough. And despite all her efforts and hard work, she wasn't able to lose a pound. We started working together, and within the first 6 weeks, she lost 9 pounds. And she's actually eating more and spending less time at the gym. So her friends and colleagues are asking her, "What are you doing?" Everybody's starting to notice, even before herself. She didn't, I mean, she was like maybe on losing weight, but she was not really paying attention. But then she got all these comments and she's like, oh, yeah. So that improved, but also her relationships got stronger as she has more time now and more energy to join activities with friends. She's spending less time at the gym her time, and her sleep was at 3 out of 10, and now it is a 9. So she's able to sleep much better.
So sleep's better, relationships better, and kind of like back with you in Italy and me with the other moms, where we're shrinking down. So then when she loses those 9 pounds, and it's not just the pounds, like she's feeling more confident, more energized, and then that's naturally going to lead her to be able to go out with her friends, plus all the time she saved that she's not in the gym anymore, walking to the gym anymore. She has more time to be with her friends and then to enjoy it, and to really have things shake loose. And yeah, it's so powerful. I think she was the one who talked about the detox, which
Yes.
she
Yes.
was you tell me a little bit about that. So it was, I can't remember the story exactly, but
Yeah, she told me she has learned so much, not only about food, but also about toxins, because I have been teaching her about this and how they can disrupt her hormones. So in menopause, we are going through these changes, these hormonal changes, and actually toxins are out there everywhere.
mhm.
and they don't help. They are not helpful at all. All the opposite. But she was very misinformed about that. I mean, she actually didn't even know that there are toxins in the products that she uses daily. So that was really like, she was like, really? That was mind blowing for her.
Awesome. I love it. I just think that is the ripple effect is going strong. How can people reach out to you, Jeremy? I know that you help people in Portugal, but you help people from all over the world. You have a global practice. What is the best way for people to connect with you if they have questions? I know sometimes you do different little free challenges and things like that, but how can people connect with you if they have a question?
They can connect with me through my website, uh, www.vitality-health-coaching.com. Instagram, Jeremy Adai.
Okay, so vitality-health-coaching.com. And then Jeremy Ade, that's Yaremy. And then last name Aday.
Yes.
Okay, so on Instagram, follow her there. It's been an absolute pleasure, Jeremy. I love your colorful journey from a dancer in Cuba to now a health coach in Portugal, helping people with menopause and all of the ups and downs and struggles, and helping real women who are living a real life with some real solutions. And I really think that's fantastic. And if you are a health coach, and again, I put the book below, I'll put some resources there. But if you're like, how do I get started? Here's a video of how to get started with your health coaching in a day, like the basics of what do you need to do. You'll find that here. And with that, have a fantastic rest of your week and be good for you.